Shalom, shalom fam, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a quick actionable video telling you our hardest transitions here in Africa, the motherland, after 4 going on 5 years, so stay tuned. So numbers 1 and 2, let's talk about the 2 C's, customer service and corruption. If you have spent any amount of time in Africa, whether it's west, south, east, north, or anywhere else in the world, you'll see that the customer service isn't exactly like the US. In Africa, for the most part, customer service is just really chill. People aren't really like in a hurry to get things done. They may be having a good day, they may be having a bad day, but the idea is not that the customer comes first. And for you, that may be a huge transition. I know for us it was, because we're used to going to different restaurants in Columbus, Ohio, because that's where we're from. Anytime you go, everyone's very happy. They're like, oh, here. And then if they're not happy, a lot of times they could get in trouble from their employer if they're not happy in providing that customer service aspect to go above and beyond for the client. So if that happens, don't take it personal. I know we don't take it personal, but we are blessed to be in a country now that does preference customer service a little bit better than the last country we're in, since we are in southeastern Africa. Now let's get into corruption, y'all. Corruption, good deliverance. You won't even understand what African corruption is until you leave America, because you just think, okay, corruption, like, what do you mean by that? Does that mean like there's petty theft? Like, what does that mean? No, if you are in a country in Africa that's not on the least corruption index, you are going to deal with corruption with police, with immigration, with all of these different institutions, and it is going to almost drive you insane. Why? It's okay if you have a little corruption when you're getting your tomatoes. You have to negotiate little simple things like that, that's fine. But when you are dealing with large institutional corruption, child, it can be overbearing, very burdensome, because the ease to do business is then reversed. So that's something you want to watch out for. That was definitely the most difficult transition for us, and the thing that made us actually move into southern Africa, because a lot of these countries in southern Africa are on the least corrupt index and are on the list of ease to do business in Africa. Okay,
so guys, yes, number three, there's so many cultures here, right? So when you think about it, when you look into the tribes and the cultures here in Africa, it's so many. So if you're in a certain area, just say East Africa is different from South Africa, it's different from West Africa. So you really have to understand each culture and just understand how they wake up day to day, and how you can treat people, how you can assimilate into the society and the culture that they do. So you have to really understand each culture, especially the area, and that will really help you move around a little bit more easier, especially when you go into a new area. You're definitely going to stick out like a sore thumb. You're definitely going to stick out because you walk different, you talk different, you look different. So it's just best to really try to really maneuver like a local in all aspects. And number 4, everything is slower. I know my wife was mentioning customer service and how everybody just moves slower. They're really at peace, and that comes with peace. So you have to understand why they move slow. And been here in Africa for 4 years, going on 5 years, we actually appreciate the slowness. We actually appreciate are you recording me? Just the way of life that, that brings. Back in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, it's a busy city. So it's always moving. Everybody cares about, you got to be on time. You got to be on time. If you're late 1 minute, you're in trouble. But here, just for example, we had a couple meetings one time, and a guy didn't show up till about an hour after. So we already ate, we already drunk our drinks, and when he showed up, he said, "Oh, did you guys eat?" Like it was a normal thing to do. So that's when we realized, like, okay, maybe we just have to get used to it. So at a point, we started to be like 15 minutes late, and that's normal. That's normal. So the people that's here in Africa, they understand. Hey, it's no rush. Poly, slow, and that's just what it is.
so schooling in the same system worldwide, as y'all know, and if you don't know, if you're new here, we are a family of 7 that have been living in southeastern Africa for the past 4 years, going on 5 years, and a lot of that time our children spent in school. learning Swahili culture, learning about Tanzania, learning about Kenya, learning about Zambia, learning about Southern Africa, where we're at now. And so the schooling system is much better than you think. I'll admit that when we moved over, we didn't expect much from the school system because of these preconceived notions we have in the West. But we actually found out, like, wow, this curriculum is actually very rigorous, and they're learning African history. They're not learning American history, right? And so that was something that was so beautiful. But the downside, the thing that really shocked us and was a difficult transition with this, was actually seeing and realizing that colonization did not just happen in America, y'all. Slavery, Jim Crow, all that, it happened on a global scale. It wasn't just our corner of America and South America where the natives were slaughtered, where our people were into slavery, then Jim Crow, then the microaggressions, then the school to prison pipeline. These things are literally all over the world, not just in Africa, in India, in Australia, in China, in every nation on the planet except for the European nations. And so once we realized that, that was something that was so difficult to wrap our minds around, because we thought that we were adventuring and traveling to see an authentic, not that it's not authentic, but to see an experience that is separate from colonization. But in fact, when you explore the world, you realize how big Great British colonization has really impacted the entire earth. Okay, so that was like a big struggle for us. And then our last point, I know my husband's going to come in and talk about this from his point of view, but I wanted to give my point of view, being someone that's from Ohio, spending most of my life in Ohio. When we meet different diaspora and people out here, it really makes me miss Ohio people. I'm going to be quite honest, because Ohio people are just very chill. They're very relaxed. We tend to be just very, about our business, and sometimes you get close to people that are from the West Coast of America, or from the Caribbean, or from the UK, and all these different cultures, and you're like, I'm not really used to all of this drama, because being from the Midwest, like, imagine the Midwest, what some of the stereotypes are, like cornfield, stuff like that, but really we're just like really calm, chill, relaxed, normal day-to-day people. And I have to admit, I miss the people of Ohio.
Yes, guys, so shout out to Ohio people, as we from Columbus, Ohio. Everybody that we met so many people from all over the states, even people in the UK. But Ohio people, that is the heart of the states of America. That's literally the shape of it. So shout out to Ohio people. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you like the video, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Shalom.
Shalom.